Police say Wilson was headed to her car after an overnight shift at Detroit Medical Center when she was ambushed by a man.
He approached our victim as she was getting into her driver's side of her vehicle. He then got inside of the vehicle, forced her over, and fled with her inside.
The suspect is 36-year-old Jameer Miller, according to police. Rosalind Livingston says he was her daughter's ex-boyfriend and a bit obsessive.
The more she pulled away, he was sending flowers. If you go by her house, there's things at her door that she kind of like left there to let him know that I'm not accepting things from you.
Today, we're going to be headed to Detroit, Michigan, the largest city in the state of Michigan and also the largest city on the United States-Canada border. If you don't know, Detroit is home to the Big Three in the United States automobile industry. The Big Three are General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler, which are all headquartered in the Metro Detroit area. Besides the automobile industry, Detroit is known for its contributions to music, with major artists coming from the Motown record label like the Supremes, the Miracles, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, the Jackson 5, the Temptations, just to name a few. However, since 2000, the Detroit area has seen a decline in population after the auto industry faltered and people moved away because of job loss. On May 13, 2023, a nurse will be abducted in the city from her job at Detroit Receiving Hospital, and something tragic will take place. Detroit police are still in the beginning stages of the investigation of 29-year-old Patrice Wilson. She was a nurse at Detroit Receiving Hospital and was walking to her car after her shift when she was abducted. According to Detroit police captain, a man would approach the victim as she was getting into the driver's side of her vehicle. He then got in the vehicle, forced her over, and fled with her inside. According to a friend who was on the phone with Patrice, when she was walking to her car, she heard a scream and then the phone went dead. Police would say Summer reported several gunshots right after the abduction. Patrice worked the night shift and got off about 7:30 a.m. Saturday morning. The man who abducted her was said to have a blonde-colored wig on at the time, and investigators say the alleged suspect is 36-year-old Jameer Miller. He was someone who Patrice once dated, according to her family members. Patrice's mother, Rosalind, said nothing seemed out of ordinary when she spoke with her earlier that morning, and that her daughter stated when she got off work she was going to go home and take a nap like she always did, and then head to her second job in the evening.
Developing tonight's ambushed after work. Detroit police looking for a local nurse kidnapped after leaving her hospital shift. Detectives scouring the city for this man. He's the suspect believed to have forcefully kidnapped a woman early this morning. Thanks for joining us for 7 Action News at 10. I'm Simon Shaquette. Detroit police hoping for the woman's safe return soon. Patrice Wilson was leaving work at the DMC when the suspect allegedly forced her into her own car. 7 Action News reporter Alex Bozargian bringing us the latest on this mystery.
I got a call. Someone said they were talking to Patrice on the phone and they heard her screaming.
Patrice Wilson's phone went dead after that, according to her mom. Police say Wilson was headed to her car after an overnight shift at Detroit Medical Center when she was ambushed by a man.
He approached our victim as she was getting into her driver's side of her vehicle. He then got inside of the vehicle, forced her over, and fled with her inside.
The suspect is 36-year-old Jameer Miller, according to police. Rosalind Livingston says he was her daughter's ex-boyfriend and a bit obsessive.
The more she pulled away, he was sending flowers. If you go by her house, there's things at her door that she kind of like left there to let him know that I'm not accepting things from you.
Patrice's grandmother would say she was a good girl. She doesn't do anything. She's not a girl that's in the street. She just goes to work and takes care of her child. Sadly, the vehicle, a black 2020 Lincoln Nautilus, was found at an apartment complex at 9:03 p.m. in the area of Haggerty and 9 Mile and Novi. Her body would be found inside of that vehicle.
And thanks for staying up with us early on a Sunday morning. Moments ago, police confirmed the body of Patrice Wilson has been found.
She is the Detroit nurse who investigators say was kidnapped leaving work yesterday morning. Let's get out to our Megan Woods with the very latest on this. Megan.
Rod, Priya, just a disturbing and heartbreaking update to this case. As you mentioned, Patrice Wilson now confirmed dead. Now, what sources are telling us is that that 29-year-old was found shot in the back of an SUV that was parked in her Novi apartment complex off of Haggerty.
The alleged suspect turned himself in after negotiating his surrender via his lawyer, and he was taken into custody at the DDC at 2:15 p.m. on Sunday, which is the Detroit Detention Center. While researching this story, I will find out even more shocking info about Jameer Miller. Jameer is a father of two, and the mother of his son, whose name was Bianca Green, mysteriously came up missing while she was pregnant with her second child back in 2011.
March 25th of 2011, the last day Bianca Green was seen. The 24-year-old mother, with another baby on the way, was on the 15,000 block of Brant near Pennsylvania and Middlebelt in Romulus. Bianca Green was a college student with a 4-year-old son. She was expecting a new child when she vanished. Bianca's mother got a text from Bianca saying she was near Ohio and she would call her mom just as soon as she reached her destination. Lisa Green is insisting her daughter would never run away from her family and her own son.
I'm just giving a cry out to the nation because I need all the help that I can get in finding my daughter.
It's hard being a single father, and it's hard for me to even tell him what's going on with her. And then his birthday coming up April 18th, and it's going to be the second one she went around.
Say, Mommy, we miss you.
Mommy, we miss you.
And we want you to come home.
And we want you to come home.
And we want God to bring you home.
And God to bring you home.
And up to this day, she is still missing. No updates on what happened to her or where she is at currently. It was alleged that she had told someone she was not sure who the father of her second child was, and that someone who knew her child's father stated he was very upset about the news, and they even reported him because he was acting strange.
Police announcing today the ex-boyfriend of a murdered nurse is in custody, bringing an end to the manhunt that started when Patrice Wilson was abducted and killed over the weekend. Now we've learned the man in custody has connections to another case of a woman's disappearance more than a decade ago. Sean Lay is live with all these new developments. Sean.
Startling new developments, Kimberly. Good evening to you. Jameer Miller, we're told, turned himself in yesterday, police say, in connection with that kidnapping over the weekend of nurse Patrice Wilson, as you mentioned, and she was later found murdered. Let's go back to 2011. Miller had a girlfriend at the time. Her name was Bianca Green. They have a child together. She went missing. Now we're told that case is being ripped wide open. Now let's go back to March 25th of 2011. That's when the family of an expected mother named Bianca Green urged the public to help find her. She had gone missing from Romulus and has never been found. Green's family asking for help at a Crime Stoppers event at that time. And standing right there, Bianca Green's boyfriend at the time, Jameer Miller, the same man police say abducted Patrice Wilson Saturday morning. Detroit Police James White says the missing case of Bianca Green, and if Miller is involved in her disappearance, is now a new and wide open investigation.
I was made aware of that as a part of this investigation, and everything is going to be looked at, including anything from that case as well. I don't know the status of that case. I know our detectives are in contact with the agency of origin on that particular missing persons. We're going to cooperate with them, pull their files, and we'll be working together to see if there's any correlation or if there's anything we can help them with.
Back here live, here's the latest. Miller, with his attorney, turned himself in yesterday to the Detroit Correction Facility. He's being held there tonight. Kimberly, waiting tomorrow to see if charges will be filed in the nurse case of Patrice Wilson, and then re-examining this old case from 2011. Green's family hoping for new information. And again, police say they're just starting to scratch the surface of that one. Detroit police comparing notes with Romulus police. We'll keep an eye on it.
Now, I don't know if it's a crazy coincidence, or could Jameer have done something to her possibly? Because I do find it awfully strange that he is the alleged person who took Patrice's life and that the mother of his child disappeared 11 years ago. Police said that they would be looking into Bianca Green's case with the city where it occurred to see what happened. Police also stated that when looking at the criminal history, Jamir is a very violent person and has a significant criminal history, and there is a history of domestic violence associated with that as well. Patrice did everything that she was supposed to and left a bad situation, but sadly she was hunted down, and now there's a 7-year-old child with no mother any longer and family that is torn apart. My deepest condolences go out to this family and friends in this dark time, and I ask that you please comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in this difficult time, and hit that like button to share to make your people aware. And as always, remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.